Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to be reading a book about insects, of course, because we've been doing all stuff about insects this week. And today I really want you to be listening closely to the details in this story, kind of like we did when we were focusing on main idea and details, because we are going to look at how to start writing in our insect fact book today. And I know that that's also Miss Flanagan's writing lesson for today, so we have a lot to do. Okay, let's get started. The world of insects. Insects are small, six-legged animals with feelers called antennae on their heads. They live almost everywhere, from the highest mountain to the hottest desert. Your backyard is probably crawling with thousands of these little creatures. Caterpillars, ants, butterflies, bumblebees, ladybugs. Guess what? So far, scientists have found more than 1 million different kinds of insects. Wow. Grasshoppers. A grasshopper has long, bendy legs that make it a champion jumper. At the first sign of danger, it springs high into the air. The grasshopper munches on leaves and flowers. It also sings loudly to find a mate. Grasshopper facts. Male grasshoppers sing by rubbing their back legs against their wings. This makes a loud chirping or humming sound. When a grasshopper is annoyed, it spits out a nasty brown juice called tobacco juice to scare off its enemies. Some grasshoppers have ears on their tummies. And then this is a funny joke. See if you can read it. Where does a grasshopper go to get glasses? The optician. Moving on. Insects have different ways of moving about. Some insects whiz through the air, flapping their delicate wings. Others scuttle along the ground on their little legs. A few insects can even walk on water. Night creepers. Cockroaches come out to feed at night, but as soon as you turn the lights on, they scurry away into dark hiding places. Zooming along. Dragonflies are expert flyers. They dive, swoop, and catch other insects to eat while they're zooming through the air, walking on water. Pond skaters live on ponds and lakes. They glide gracefully back and forth across the top of the water on their long, skinny legs. We have liftoff. Tiny fleas live on furry animals such as cats and dogs. They are amazing jumpers. If you could jump like a flea, you would be able to leap to the top of a 4-story building. Wow. Wasps. A wasp has a nasty sting. A wasp has a nasty sting in its tail. Its bright stripes warn other creatures to stay far away. Wasps buzz around, sucking up a sweet flower juice called nectar. They also eat meat, pouncing on other insects which they feed to their babies. Oof. Here's some wasp facts. Wasps are keen house decorators. They scrape wood from trees and chew it. This turns the wood into paper, which they use to build their nests. Wasps love to eat sweet things. That's why they fly into sugary drinks, cakes, and ice creams. Many other insects have yellow and black bodies to protect themselves. This fools their enemies into thinking they are wasps with poisonous stings. Here's another joke. It says, if bees make honey, what do wasps make? Waspberry jam. Dinner time. Some insects hunt for their dinner, snapping up other insects in their sharp jaws. Other insects eat plants. They nibble gently on leaves or suck up tasty juices from flowers. A few insects feast on leftovers, gobbling up rotten food. It's a trap. A praying mantis is a deadly hunter. When another insect lands nearby, the mantis stares at it with its huge eyes. Then the mantis shoots out 2 spiky front legs and grabs its dinner. Oof. Sucking power. A bee has a tube-shaped tongue for sucking up nectar from inside flowers. It dips its tongue into the flower like a straw and takes a long, cool drink. Soak it up. A fly spits on food, such as hamburgers, to make it runny. Then it soaks up the goo with the spongy pads at the end of its mouth. Gross. Tasty treats. A dung beetle makes a tasty meal out of animal droppings. It rolls the droppings into a ball and hides it underground as a snack for its babies. Stag beetle. A stag beetle looks scary to other insects. It has a giant pincher jaws and a hard, shiny body. During fights with other stag beetles, its jaws become a fierce weapon and its body is like a suit of armor. Wow. Beetle facts. A ground beetle has special hook on its front legs so that it can give its antenna a good scrub. Young stag beetles love staying at home. They live inside rotten trees for up to 4 years, munching on wood and growing fatter. To fool its enemies, a leaf beetle rolls over flat onto its back and pretends to be dead. Danger! Keep away! Insects have lots of enemies, including hairy spiders, big pecking birds, and even other insects. To protect themselves, insects squirt smelly sprays, make scary noises, and play clever tricks. It's hard to find a leaf insect on a tree. It looks so much like a leaf that even sharp-eyed enemies can't spot it. Gas attack! When a bombardier beetle is frightened, it squirts a boiling hot spray out of its bottom. The spray makes a loud pop as it shoots towards its enemies. Monster mask. An emperor moth has bright markings on its wings that look like giant scary eyes. When an enemy comes near, the butterfly just flaps its wings to frighten it away. Insect babies. Most baby insects hatch from tiny eggs. Some insects' bodies change completely before they are adults. Others just grow bigger and bigger. From egg to butterfly. Like many insects, a butterfly changes a few times before it grows up. It looks completely different as an adult. Eggs. A mother butterfly lays lots of tiny eggs on a leaf. Then, larvae. The eggs hatch into hungry larvae called caterpillars that spend all day munching the leaves on the plant. Then, pupa. When it's fully grown, each caterpillar turns into a chrysalis or a pupa. Here, its body begins to change. Then, butterfly. A month later, a beautiful butterfly breaks out of its shell and flies away. Good parents. Most insects leave their eggs to hatch alone, but one insect called the parent bug guards her eggs and babies until they can look after themselves. Cheats. A cuckoo bumblebee tricks other bees into looking after its babies. It lays its eggs in other bees' nests, and the new parents bring the babies up as their own. Interesting. Oh, the amazing world of ants. I'm just going to hold this here for a minute so you guys can read it if you want. I'll include some pictures. We have some fast facts. This might be good for our insect journal. So that's the end of the book, but these fast facts give us a little bit of a summary of what we learned when we were reading about them. So we'll look at these. Tells us where their home is. Grasshopper lives in fields and meadows. It eats grass and leaves. It has a special body part, 5 eyes for keeping a lookout all around. And its amazing skill is that it sings loudly by rubbing its back legs against its wings. Its worst enemy is several, including birds and spiders. And a bad habit that a grasshopper has is that it munches its way through wheat and other foods growing in farmers' fields. So I don't think probably farmers like them very much. Cool. This book has puzzles too, but that's something that I might also have to include as pictures so that you can play around. Alright guys, so thinking about what we just read, I know that there are lots of facts in that book, but I'm trying to think of some that either answer some of the questions we had about insects or that just seem interesting to us. So my insect journal here has one entry from the other day when we were reading about insects, and I just decided to write about what our activity was, which was to label the insect body parts. And so I just wrote about the body parts, and then I drew a picture and labeled it just like Miss Flanagan told us to do. Today I think I'm going to write about how many insects there are in the world, because that was a really interesting fact, over 1 million. So if you need to listen to it again, you can, and then make sure that you write in your insect fact journal. Have a great day, everyone. See you later.